All right. Call the regular meeting of the Milliken Board of Trustees, July 10, 2019, to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The town clerk, please call the roll.
Yes, sir. Trustee Burek? Here. Trustee Smith?
Here.
Trustee Ehrlich?
Here.
Trustee Wakeman?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Austin? Here. Mayor Woodcock?
Here.
Absent is Trustee Holly Trailer.
All right. Agenda approval. Does anyone have any additions or deletions?
Yes, Mayor, I have an addition to the action agenda. I'd like to add on discussion of a family in need.
Action or is that going information?
Action. Sure, it's action. Item.
Okay.
We're gonna vote.
All right. You have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Citizens' comments. Do we have any citizens' comments? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to the minutes of the previous meetings. Is there any discussion or comments on the minutes? No?
I have
I'll entertain a motion to approve.
a move to approve.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next on the agenda is Town Administrator's Report.
All right, included in the packet is some financial information on a couple of our larger projects that have been ongoing. We're winding down. We've pretty much at the end of those projects. We've got a few more starting up, the 46. We're going to get some numbers on the Hillsborough reservoir issue. With respect to parks and trails and non-pot water systems, some of the problems that we had out at Centennial Lake this year was a pump that wasn't installed to charge the line. It was designed to refill the lake. Well, actually it was designed to charge the line. It got complicated. They just dumped it into the lake. And it isn't working at all. And we're having problems with the Hillsborough ditch coming in. We've had all sorts of horrible problems this year. Lots of things that, when we tried to fire them up this year, have been broke. And recently I found out some things have been broke for 3 years and just not being addressed. I sat down with Cullen, Oriental last name that I can't pronounce, but Cullen is with Aqua Engineering, and he did a lot of the work with Lot Holdings. He has all the design drawings and everything. I've got him tentative to design a system to direct charge the line so that it will work proper. I will be working on other things to get it corrected so it works proper. His engineering report's going to be somewhere around $10,000 to try and get that fixed. And I'm trying to come up with some ideas that I'm not able to really share with everybody right now, but I'm coming up with some ideas on how to maybe get that resolved a little quicker and a little more efficiently on staff. Weld County School District RE5J, Leslie Arnold, would like to request the board to come to their offices on the 17th for a special meeting to tell you what they have planned on their mill levy request. So I'm passing that along to you. I would like to get a head count if anyone has the ability to go, would like to go. It'll be at 6 o'clock on Wednesday, the 17th. And one of the things, I did go to the meeting last night here in the police station. One of the things that they're trying to do is get a $150 million some dollar mill levy thing passed. And they are requesting that it not sunset, that it be perpetual. And there's some administrative monies that will be paid out of that and some school dollars, and they wanted to have you come to their office to explain it to you. I can also offer them coming and making a presentation here if that works better for you also. You can think about that. I'll finish this up real quick. We are going to be getting into the budget phase. Courtney and I went and took a Colorado budget course, finance course, and we're going into the budget phase now. One of the things that I am finding that we have a problem with, and when I was in banking many years ago, I ran into the same problem. Don with water, wastewater, Don Stonebrink has been trying to hire someone for his positions that are open for a long time now, and our offer price for the job is lower than what they can hire on in other places for. So we're behind the curve salary-wise. Cheryl's working with some folks that she knows in order to get an updated analysis of what the job market is out there. We have to be smart, we have to be careful that we do not just train people, get them their licenses, and then these other places kind of look at our staff that we train and pick the prime crop of what we have and then hire them away from us. We can't match them salary-wise, but we got to be pretty close. We have to have other things that are more beneficial, like a neat little small town without, you know, the bureaucracy that they have in those larger towns. But we have to be competitive, otherwise we're always going to be playing catch-up. That always does that. I do have a homeowner. Gravity never sleeps. I know, we do have a homeowner on Josephine that has complained about the damage to their fence. They want us to maybe work with them. I wanted to bring that to the board. My decision would not be too agreeable to them. They've built, their landscaping goes right up against the picket fence and pushes the bottom boards of the picket out as the rocks press down. She's got some pictures here. She would like us to redesign her whole fence and everything. It's a rental property. The fence was old to start with. They had to dig down to get it out properly. I'm opposed to putting stuff back in against it. I'd give her $100 to do it herself, give her the rock or something like that. But I don't think it's in our easement.
Is it something that we did during the construction?
But the fence was in the easement where the storm sewer was going in.
The fence was in the easement where the storm
Yeah,
sewer
we
was
have a
going in?
storm drainage easement through an area, and this was a drain that was being added. It's the very first drain, 101 Josephine, and then it goes across to the pool before it goes under 60. It's right off the alley there.
It goes from the west side under to the fireman's park and then.
Sounds like an administrative issue, not us.
You want me to just handle it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of Josephine, while you're on the subject, I got a question for you. Are we gonna put the curb cut in for the alley?
We're gonna wait and get it all done and then come back and do a big yes. There was a decision made to not put it in, and checking with Jack at DeFalco, there is no weight requirement on those boxes. Those are built pretty strong, and they were driving their equipment over it. Probably double check with planning department ahead of time. She's been discussing this with the property owners, and they're concerned about 2 points of access. But the thought was, get the project done, get FEMA approval on that to where we can maybe start getting some additional funds for that project, and then get a cut in at a later date once they've already looked at it. That's kind of what the thinking is right now. And that's all I have. Thank you.
You guys have any questions for him before we move on?
Do we have a, I do have a question, I'm sorry. You forget to look at me. Do we have an update on Hillsborough?
No.
The reservoir?
They've got the study done, they're compiling the evidence, there's some more lab work that they have to do, and then we'll have a report that Leonard will come in and present to you.
Let's see if they found any mice.
What's this?
All right. Seeing that. Nothing on the consent agenda. We'll go right to the action agenda. Action agenda item A, consideration for approval, resolution 19 TAC 10. Tim Singwell, the town administrator, is the one presenting on that one.
I'd be glad to present the information to you. The town board requested that we look into additional attorneys. The current attorney had turned in a letter of resignation. We lost trustee Burek. So an RFQ was placed out. The board received 3 different bids on that. After review of the 3 bids, the board requested I have an in-depth meeting with one of the firms. I went and did that. They answered the questions which were agreeable to the direction I was given by the board, and I requested that they at that time send a letter of engagement to the board, which they did, and that's what's up in front of you tonight, is their letter of engagement, which was sent after they agreed to the terms and conditions that you were looking for.
You guys have any questions?
Yes.
Yes, lots of questions.
Go for it.
Why are we going from 2 services down to 1?
From what?
Why are we going from two services down to 1? We had Michelle down in Denver, and we also have Sunita. And why are we going from 2 services that do completely 2 different things down to 1?
Were you at the last board meeting?
No, I've been out of the
Okay.
country for the last month.
I couldn't remember for certain because I've seen you since then, but the situation was a discussion at the board level, and I was directed to request both services from the one law firm. It was a board decision to do so. And I apologize, I haven't been here as long as everyone else, but that was the request of the board. And I believe that was an executive session, wasn't it? Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
Well, I have a lot of questions about this firm. I wasn't, do I need to ask now or wait? I have questions about the firm, but do I need to ask now or wait?
Yeah, you'll be able to question them directly. They did come in and have a sit-down with the board while you were out.
Correct.
Okay.
And I don't know if any of these questions were asked, so that's why I wanted to bring them up.
Would you like to have that done now? Matt Gould is here representing the law firm of Bell, Gould, Linder, and Scott. If you would like to come up here and address questions from the trustees.
You'll have to forgive me if I can't read names from over here, but I'll try.
That's okay. Can you share with us what experience you have with this community court? What do you know about Milliken's community court?
We're starting fresh with Milliken's Community Court. That's a new concept to us, but we have spoken about it. And at the outset, Jeremy Scott of our office, Jed Scott, and Fred Long will be handling that. So one of the things that we want to do is come in and learn what we need to know about exactly what that means. We're kind of drawing some assumptions that it's a kind of a redirection type of program, but we want to hear from you what that means for our conduct of municipal court.
Okay. Will there be one prosecuting attorney or multiple ones that will be coming down to this court?
I think there will be one most times, but we'll have coverage by both Jed and Fred at the outset. Fred Long of our firm is handling a fair amount of our prosecution now, and he may be your regular prosecutor. But we want to just have all of us involved, especially Jed, who is a more senior prosecutor at the outset.
Does he have any training in restorative justice?
I don't know the answer to that question. I can tell you that Jed's background is he has been prosecutor for the town of Severance for quite a few years. He's not doing that prosecution now. He is the town prosecutor for Alt, and Jed is the prosecutor for the town of Alt, and Fred is the prosecutor for the town of Berthoud.
Are either of those community courts?
I don't believe so, but I believe they are both courts of record now. So no, not to my knowledge. This is a new concept for us.
Okay, it's a very different type of practice when you're dealing with a community court.
I think we're discerning how important that is to the town, and that it's something that's that we do need to learn.
Okay.
And I should also mention that something that was mentioned in the work session is one of the things that we asked out of the gate was that we want to get guidance from the board on what its goals and vision of the court is, because each town is a little different. Sometimes the goal, to be quite candid, is that it's a revenue center. Sometimes the goal is property maintenance, maybe more than other things. Depending upon your roads, it may be traffic, or it may be all of the above. But we want to hear from you what your vision for the court is, so that we have some confidence moving forward.
Thank you.
You bet. And I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Any other questions? No. Good.
Yep, I have a question.
Sure.
So your letter of engagement did not include a yearly rate increase or some sort of cap? Is there a reason?
It did not. I think what we did include is that we're locking those rates in through next year. We increase municipal rates maybe once every 2 or 3 years, really 3. We did go through an increase effective the beginning of this year, and I don't think we've done it since 13, so it's more than 3 years. One of the things that is new to our rate structure is that we are asking that for fees that can be passed on, such as to developers, we charge our full rates. That allows us to charge a lower rate for the day-to-day municipal work.
Yeah, I noticed that in the rate. The only other thing is phone meetings, is that billed under the hourly rate of $170, or is that the 2-hour rate of $324?
So in other words, if we attended by phone, that's a good question. It's not something we've ever had to deal with because we do generally go to meetings and not attend them by phone, but that would be under the same schedule for meetings generally. So does that make sense? So it would avoid the
does.
travel time, really, is what it would avoid, and the mileage.
Okay, because that brings me to the question that I really want to hone in on is, you've got a 2-hour rate for $325. If you're on the phone for 30 or 45 minutes, we're going to get billed for the 2-hour rate, or do you have a 1-hour rate?
You know, if there's a really short meeting, we don't typically charge the full rate, but we do allow ourselves to, because there's some trade-off there for the meetings that go longer, because our effective rate for a particularly long meeting can drop down, you know, to a fairly low number.
I noticed that. Okay. All right. That helps me understand. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, what are your majority cases that your firm works on?
Oh, wow. Okay, let's see. We are a general practice firm, and really we're more defined by what we don't do than what we do. We don't do divorces or domestic work, other than maybe occasionally marital agreements when there are a lot of assets at stake. We don't do criminal, other than municipal prosecution. We do estate planning, real estate, including litigation. We do a fair amount of bankruptcy and debt relief work. Not just bankruptcy. We really aren't a firm that just rolls cases through. We tend to get some of the more difficult bankruptcy cases. Jed Scott is doing a fair amount of water-related work right now. Obviously municipal and a range of municipal work, including some litigation. We have both we have even smaller towns. We do represent the town of Grover, which is a very small town, the town of Nunn, and then Berthoud. And the towns call for quite a variety of different kinds of work, drafting ordinances, all the things that I'm sure you're familiar with.
So with your prosecutors, do they work with the school district in the towns that you mentioned?
Really, I think that the answer to that, and I'm not at all one of the lead prosecutors, but I think the answer to that is that's going to be at the direction of the judge. You know, if the judge feels like the school needs to be contacted. But you're getting outside of my bailiwick, to be honest.
Okay.
If that's part of the community program, then we want to educate ourselves about how that happens.
But at this point, you're not educated in that?
I
realm?
am not.
Any other questions? Questions? That'd be a motion. Any other questions before we do motions? Nothing from this
I don't
side?
have any questions.
Nothing from that side? All right, I'll take a motion.
Okay. No more questions? I'll have a seat.
No.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
I have a question on how to remove language. Not for you, sir. Sorry.
Well,
I need to
Sure, we can have an
request to remove, I'm not in favor of how the member of MOR is written. I'd like to have the prosecution taken out. If that makes sense.
that would be a motion
Are
to,
you looking for a separate motion between
Town attorney
the
compared to the
versus
prosecuting.
the town's prosecutor?
Correct. I'd like to have them separate, please.
You can make a motion however you choose.
yeah, you can actually, that'd be part of your motion to approve for legal for the town municipal side, but then remove it for the prosecution side. Does that make sense? Right? So that'd be your motion.
That's my motion.
Yeah, see it. And then we got to vote on it.
I'd like to make a motion to separate the legal attorney for the town compared to the prosecuting attorneys for the district court, or the community court.
So they would be voted on independently?
Correct?
Okay.
I second it.
Town clerk, call for a vote.
Excuse me. Trustee Smith,
No.
Trustee Wakeman,
Yes.
Trustee Ehrlich,
No.
Trustee Burek,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Austin,
No.
Mayor Woodcock.
No. So, motion failed. So now I need another motion. Go on,
Make a motion we approve resolution 1910.
I'd like to amend the motion that the memorandum be updated from the town of Monument to the town of Milliken.
Did it say monument on it?
Yeah,
It says
it says
monument?
Yeah.
But it's spell check mean something to me? Where?
Where does it say monument?
Above section 1,
Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Town of Monument, Colorado.
Yours is different than mine.
Mine says monument.
I don't see
it.
it. Oh, hold on.
mine says
No.
monument.
Why is your
Oh,
birth
up
seat doing
there,
that?
I got it. In
It says monument, right here.
in the bold.
Big and bold.
Title line.
Here's those two.
Ah, it does. I'm sorry, spell check.
Spell check
We
ain't
both
gonna
looked at
catch
this
it
so
correct
many
order.
times, we're sorry.
It's
Yes.
spelled right.
Sorry.
It's just not our town.
I don't know what happened there.
All right,
You
use
got
for a
that from the
second.
attorney?
Lee, you're on for a
No.
motion. Use for a second with adjustment, right?
Yes.
All right.
Well, no, I didn't second it, I said I'd like to amend it.
Oh,
Yes.
all right.
we
So
will-
now we're
we
looking
will-
at the
I still need a
correct
second.
that.
Second.
So are you seconding?
My motion is no good. This is made a motion, Scott
Right.
seconded.
So, town clerk, please call for a vote.
Yes, sir. Trustee Wakeman,
Could we have a clarification on what we're voting on?
Thank you.
Please.
Trustee Ehrlich moved to approve resolution 1910 with the correction of monument changed to Milliken. Sorry, I was stuck on that, so the motion in here was proposed engagement letter and direct the town administrator and staff to implement an agreement with the law firm of Val, Gould, Linder, and Scott, P.C.
So the motion's by Leyrana and seconded by Scott.
Correct.
She amended.
With Elizabeth's amendment?
Yeah.
Yes.
Including Elizabeth's amendment for the correction.
So was your correction and motion?
It was
It's-
just to
it's-
change monument to Milliken.
Yes.
Right.
That's all.
So I amended Leron's motion.
And I seconded it
He seconded.
after she amended it.
Yes.
Trustee Burek,
No.
Trustee Ehrlich,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Austin,
Yes.
Mayor Woodcock,
Yes.
motion passed.
Moving on to action agenda item B, consideration for approval of ordinance 773.
We had, let me get my glasses on here. We had a snafu in the way that we did this. We brought it to the board several weeks ago, then we understood that it had to come as an ordinance, so we went back, we did it as an ordinance. We ran into a timing problem that anything approved by ordinance needs 30 days. The closing is on the 12th. In the ordinance, too, the wording stated the mayor and the clerk would be required to sign the documents. My understanding all along has been that the board wanted me to do that. I made arrangements to be at closing to take care of that. Both the mayor and the clerk have expressly stated there's no way in the world that they're going to be able to make it to go there. The last passing of ordinance 771 was on the 20th, which means we'd have to vacate the closing on the 12th because we didn't wait the full 30 days. By doing a ordinance by emergency with a positive vote by 3/4 of the board, it can come into effect immediately, and we can close this transaction on the 12th at the agreed-to price that I passed along to each of the board members of $275 for the property. So that's the vote that's in front of you at this time.
Any questions? No? No question? All right, take a motion.
I move to approve an ordinance number 773, authorizing signature of the agreement for the Martinez Hine property.
And you might just,
Emergency.
exactly, thank you.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Town clerk, call for a vote.
Yes, sir. Trustee Burek?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
I abstain based on the fact that I was recused from the meetings in this negotiation.
We don't have well, we passed the bill. I think we need to have legal counsel up here for this because I think we're required to have a affirmation of 6 board members to do it, and I don't think that is a conflict of interest at this point for you. If it's the approval to sell a property at an agreed to price it, which is after the negotiation for sale.
I kind of agree with that because we're past the negotiation, we're just approving the final price.
What's that?
So we're just approving the final price on it.
Yes, and the ability for me to sign on behalf of the
Yeah,
board.
the rest of us already approved. Who won?
I don't disagree with that, and I'm not necessarily disagreeing, I'm just abstaining because I was not involved in the process. So
Mr.
I
Mead,
don't
would that,
feel knowledgeable about
would
what
that,
I'm voting on.
It's within the discretion of the trustee to abstain, and if we don't have 6 votes, we don't have 6 votes, we have to look at what we can do. In the light of day, maybe tomorrow, process will be done. Special meeting may need to get it.
Well, they
well,
close
we're
on the
not going to be
12th.
able to do a special meeting. That's going to kill the deal, which would
Probably start us
be
over.
more of a conflict of
Can we
interest.
bring in a trustee by phone?
No. Can't phone a friend.
Okay.
Hey, I'd call Holly.
Yeah, I mean, the answer to that question, I don't know what your code provides for that kind of meeting, but that's the kind of meeting we're proceeding on very cautiously. Somebody who hasn't even been here for the meeting so far, I'd be very reluctant.
Yeah, you haven't any background in it, but I do believe it takes 6 votes for the supermajority in affirmation.
Immediate effectiveness.
Correct, for an emergency.
Let's finish the vote and I'll,
That's the only thing we have
We
left.
can't table it.
Nope, we've got my issue.
Either,
Uh-huh.
it's either yes
My
or no. We either sell it or we don't.
We need to sell it.
yeah.
Can we table this for a little bit and
Yeah.
readdress it
Well, we'll-
in 10 minutes?
Right here. I move that we table this matter for at least 15 minutes. How's that?
Unless Peggy's gonna change her mind.
Don't pressure her.
Don't pressure her.
Let's finish the vote.
What's that now?
and then everybody else votes.
Oh,
The original minutes?
771. 771.
Oh,
Okay.
I've got
We're
all
already
this
voting
stuff here.
anyway, so it's kind of hard to table something in the middle of a vote.
So it's
Oh, well, that's a good point.
771.
No,
I'm
Cheryl,
just gonna throw that out.
Cheryl,
Okay. I
continue
withdraw
with
my
the vote.
motion.
We're gonna continue because we're in the middle of
Peggy
a
wants
vote.
to be
You
last.
can't just stop in the middle of a vote.
Yeah.
Okay,
It just doesn't work that way,
all right.
so. Please continue.
Okay. So, I don't know where I left off, so I will start all over again. How does that work?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Trustee Burek,
yes.
Trustee Ehrlich,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Austin,
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman,
I will remove my abstention and vote in favor, so I vote yes.
Yes,
thank you. Mayor Woodcock,
yes.
and the motion passed.
Okay. Last thing on the action agenda,
Thank you.
let Mayor Pro Tem kick it.
So it's come to my attention that Sunday, July 7th, we had a family in town who, in the terrible storm, their house was struck by lightning. A family with 2 young children. Their house cannot be inhabited for 2 months. I was out there. Their roof did catch on fire. And, of course, they have a lot of water damage. Front Range responded quickly to the situation, got it under control. So I come to the board to ask consideration for this family that we forgive their water bills for July and August, along with prioritizing any building permit requests that come in for this home to get the home back up and running as quickly as possible. And third, that we send them a letter with our decision tonight. And that is my request.
July, August.
Yes.
I would add September. That's just me.
That's-
I'd add September because it's construction, you never know what's gonna put them behind. They're not gonna be living there. And really, it's not that much to waive that fee, so.
What do you think?
They're not going to be home using water.
If they're in a
They're
hotel,
gonna water the yard, that's it. So should I add September?
I would.
Yes.
What do you think?
Question, I thought since the water fund's an enterprise zone, we can't waive fees.
Exactly. That's-
The general
Legally, we
fund would
cannot do
have
that.
to- The general fund would have to reimburse the water fund for that.
I don't think that's legal.
Got an attorney sitting right there, I mean, you can always ask. I'm just saying, we might as well put him to use while he's sitting there, I mean. So what they're asking is, because being that the water fund is an enterprise fund, that we can't waive fees or do anything like that on it, can we waive these people's fees by just moving the money over from the general fund to reimburse the water fund?
So in other words, can the town use its own money
To pay the enterprise fund.
for bills? I'd honestly be more comfortable with waiving the fees in the first place. The board is in charge of the enterprise. Using the board's money to pay somebody's water bill, there is a constitutional provision I want to look at to see if it reaches persons. It definitely reaches expenditures for the benefit of corporations.
Okay.
I didn't understand a word of that.
But we as a board can,
Using public money,
Using taxpayer money to pay somebody else's bills.
I'm a little cautious about that.
But it's one thing to waive the fee.
we can waive the water fees that, for a period of construction.
I would be more comfortable with that than paying the fees, yes.
Or suspending the water fees because they're not using any water, they're not using any sewer. We could suspend it for 3 months without a disconnect charge.
Did I hear somebody say they were gonna water the grass, though?
Well,
I
yeah.
did hear that, right?
Yeah, the grass will
Okay,
get watered.
yeah, that's true.
But the sewer won't be used.
No. There's nobody gonna be in the house.
Right.
How each chip in $50.
How big is the property?
Cover it or something.
Elizabeth? How big is the property?
It's a small house over in Sutler's Village. I mean,
Oh,
it's
wow.
not,
Small lot?
yeah, I mean, it's,
So, why don't you just take the first month, I'll pay the first month, help them out. Someone else can jump in, pay the other month, and then someone else can pay the third month.
well, what do we?
This way,
allow-
it's us doing it, it's not the residents paying for it, it's not, it's just the board handling it as, you know, we're sorry for your situation, it's done and squashed then. Now, the building fees, I agree with that, that's not an enterprise fund, right?
No, I didn't ask for the building fees, I asked for them to be
To
expedited.
fast track them?
Yeah, fast track,
Well,
because the
That's-
insurance company's gonna pay for that.
well, that's on,
I'll take the second month.
okay,
All right.
so, there,
I'll-
Take the third month.
we got it covered. You,
I'll
you,
help.
you guys, you
We'll
guys
chip
can
in.
do something to chip in, this way everyone's chipping in and it's all done.
Okay,
Done
that
deal.
works.
Are we putting
Wait,
cash
I
on
should
the
probably take the
table right
second
now,
one because the
Leroy?
water pipe broke.
All right,
How much is it?
That's very generous.
yeah.
So,
Take what you need, send it back.
What do we need?
I'd give it to Courtney when we leave.
Yeah.
And then we'll all just
figure
divide
it,
it up.
Courtney. Yeah.
Courtney, how much is it?
It could, every house depends.
Just take what you need, give it back when you're done.
Where are we going? Anyways, all right.
Let us know what we need.
Yeah,
Shoot an
Thank
email, shoot an email out.
let's move
It's
right
lean
down
on
the
for
line.
the first month, second month, and third month, and let the rest of us know.
okay.
All right. So the last thing we got then, after that discussion, no, we're not voting on anything at that point
Right.
anymore, is Western Equipment and Truck. Is there really anything new to update? Oh, God.
Ooh,
Has he paid any money?
EPA requested that we meet with the cooperating agencies at their offices in Denver. We did that on the 2nd. To give an update, our CFM, our Certified Floodplain Manager, Troy Spraker, had gone out to the property that day and taken a video. There's a substantial amount of fill that has been removed. There are some items with the stream bank stabilization that still have not been completed, and there were some additional ponds that were filled in. So EPA representatives are indicating that they are now the lead agency on the wetland violation, having had that turned over from the Army Corps. They didn't elaborate on what their next steps were, however, their attorneys were in the room. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service presented information on their expectation for habitat restoration for the protected and endangered species that was trapped on the property and documented on the property. From our standpoint, our CFM is still working with the property owner's consulting engineer on the modeling results. There will be a series of modeling results, so there will be a modeling for the post-fill conditions, a model for the fill conditions, and a model for the post-fill conditions in order to get that remediation plan that we've been waiting on from them to finalize a floodplain development permit. We did discuss with the cooperating agencies how we're going to coordinate this, because our floodplain development permit requires permits from federal agencies if required for things like wetlands or stream bank stabilization and whatnot. So we're continuing to coordinate with that. And representatives from the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment were there, and they will be contacting the property owner about the stormwater management plan and permit relative to things that they asked for the stream bank stabilization. So things have improved from our standpoint in terms of the fill has been removed, and That obviously helps a little bit of the floodplain danger. It's not completely remediated from our standpoint, and it certainly isn't remediated from the other violations of the other federal agencies. So we're continuing to work together. Our total so far from town expenditures as of June's billing, May's billing, is $6,478.62. We have sent 2 bills to the property owner via certified mail, and we have not received any response to those. So perhaps that's something that we'll kick off with our new attorney.
Start adding interest.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think we'll have this rectified by the time our snow melt starts and we have possible extra runoff this year with all our snow in the mountains?
We are working on it. Our challenge is that we're not getting a lot of feedback from the property owner. He's directing his consultants to do things and isn't involving the town. So I've requested our floodplain manager to step up communication. So to answer your question, I believe we will. There's a lot of that fill dirt that's been removed, and it's been removed from the closest part of the stream bank back. So in the process, though, he may have impacted further wetlands. And while it's not exactly in our code to be concerned about that, it's all tied together. So
I do have a question for you, though. Do you know if they're using a water truck? Well,
they
they're
are
gonna do
not,
work.
and that's why CDPHE is going to be contacting the property owner.
Because to keep the dust down. Because I've already gotten a couple phone calls about the dust being so bad down there.
Oh, because we're so dry now. Oh.
I mean, it's one of those things that, don't we have some power and control over that as a town? They're doing the work in our town. They're obviously violating a whole bunch of things. We've established that.
Because we don't have a grading permit in place, we don't have stormwater management plans required. That's why CDPHE was brought in to address that from the county and state level.
But we can't give him, because he's creating so much dust. Granted, now it's not a grading permit, now he's creating an air environmental problem. But can't we still give him a stop work order until he gets that water truck out there?
He is under a stop work order, and that is something that our floodplain manager is going to follow up on. He's been under a cease and desist order since
But we
spring.
But he got permission to move the dirt already.
No, sir, he did not. No, Mayor, he did not. The only thing he was authorized from us and from the Army Corps to do was stream bank stabilization and to build some temporary berming around the piles to keep them from seeping into the water courses.
So he removed
A lot.
dirt.
He moved a lot more than what he was supposed to do, basically, is what I have gathered.
Well, he was in there doing activity, and it was in violation of our cease and desist order.
So, I guess my directive to Tim on this, and if I'm wrong, we should probably do something to stop that. Because he's gonna walk all over the town and not care. If he's doing more than what he's supposed to be doing, someone should be in there shutting him down.
Would that be a visit by the police department?
I mean, we sent him 3 cease and desist orders before, and he kept doing it, so might just be going in there and locking him down and shutting him down.
But isn't he under the jurisdiction of the Army Corps of Engineers at this point? And the federal agencies that he's violated?
I believe that EPA is going to be taking some steps. They didn't elaborate what those were. That doesn't preclude us from implementing and enforcing our regulations that are on the books. And to the mayor's comment, I will look to see if we have anything regarding air quality or environmental items without specific permits, and if we do, we'll cite them for that as well. And I believe CDPHE is going to be taking action on, on those types of things based on our meeting on the 2nd. So that was just last Tuesday. I will follow up with them at the end of this week to see if they've been out to talk to Mr. Sparrow.
Well, I think at some point it's time to take off the kids' gloves and
I can
put it to them.
come up with something, if nothing more than just going for collection of the funds. We have certified letters have been sent out. We've requested it more than 60 days now, so we can call them on that. You know, we can start doing something, and we can add to it what we can. I'll work with Matt, and we'll come up with a plan. We'll just get it done.
I know the guy, and I know he's not gonna really care, and if you don't take the kids' gloves off, he's gonna keep doing what he wants. So, all right, well,
Thank you.
anything else? Oh, real quick, can anyone know on the 17th if they can attend the school board meeting? The joint meeting? Or would you rather have them come here? Because it's within a week, that's why I'm asking.
I can't be here.
Us going up there
On the
at 6
17th.
p.m.?
Yeah, next Wednesday.
I mean, they just want to share with us.
So I might be able to, I'd probably be able to make it if it's at 6 p.m.
Can the town clerk send a reminder email so I put it on my calendar and
I'll send an email around and get a head count, and I'll pass that on to them.
That work for you? Okay.
So wait for it
All right. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
tonight.
All in favor?
Did they serve
Aye.
dinner?
Seconded.
Did they serve dinner? Or do I need to bring my own?
Peggy and I did simultaneously.
I gave